But can't you say every team has those type of games? I mean,
No,
the Steelers were in battles with the Texans.
No,
they were in battles with the Broncos.
The Texans are better than the Giants. The Texans are better than the Giants. And when the Steelers needed to pull away from the Giants, they pulled away.
Are they, though?
Yeah.
Are they? I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I don't know about that.
Man, the Texans are way better than the Giants.
Okay. All right. I don't know about that. Just because you say it, I don't know about that.
So you want Danny Dimes and Deshaun Watson?
Oh, I'm not saying it's just not a matchup, but just the quarterbacks.
No, but I'm just saying, you want that or you want what you have?
So you're telling me? So I mean, both teams. The Texans have won one game.
They're better than the Giants.
They're exponentially better than the Giants. You can just say that with conviction.
I could say it with conviction. I promise you, I can. They play the Giants straight up. They're gonna pop the Giants.
Okay.
Let me say this with conviction. For those of you just waking up, didn't see the end of the game last night. It was quite a doozy. The Giants score a touchdown going in for a game-tying 2-point conversion. And Daniel Jones throws to the end zone looking for Dion Lewis. Antoine Winfield Jr. got in there. They initially threw a flag on a 2-point conversion to tie a game late in the fourth quarter. Eventually, the flag was picked up, and the Bucs survived 25-23. They are now 6-2. So let's just go win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. Steelers schedule the rest of the way as the league's lone unbeaten. All right, let's start. This is an easy one, guys. We'll just spitball them back and forth. This Sunday, next up at Dallas.
Win. DiNucci, win.
Key?
Win.
Okay, then, now this is intriguing because this guy's a little better than DiNucci. They will host the Bengals.
Win, man. Stop. The Bengals ain't going to beat them.
I mean, I think Joe Burrow, the way he played last game, it could be interesting if he gets
cool.
hot. I would still have Pittsburgh favored.
Stop, man.
Then they'll go to Jacksonville.
The mustache. Stop.
Okay.
That's a win.
So now we're 10-0.
The Ravens, that's the game.
That's the one. They'll host Baltimore Thanksgiving night in front of the entire country.
It could be interesting, but I still think that Pittsburgh, it's the same thing. What are they going to do to make a difference for Lamar Jackson in the passing game? What are they going to do? Are they going to go out and acquire an alpha dog at wide receiver? Are they going to go get me a 6'3", 210-pound, sub-4'4" guy that they're going to find somewhere?
They got 8.5 hours to do it. The deadline for
Go
Eastern
find
today.
me that dude. I need one of them dudes.
Well, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, they don't fear the Ravens.
As he said.
They don't fear the Ravens. So I look forward to that game.
Okay, so now we're at 11-0. Then
the only team that can beat them is the Colts. The Colts or the Ravens. Those are the two. I mean, maybe the Bills.
We'll get to the Colts
so
here in a second.
Here's the crazy thing about it is the only team that can beat them in our eyes may be like the Colts and maybe the Bills or maybe the Ravens. But there's always this team that you never think about that all of a sudden you look up and you go, oh, damn, they down by how many? So you just got to be careful. That's why I'm not always 16-0, 16-0. Because as you start to get into week 13, 12, and it starts to come up even more, that pressure starts to come on, the stress level of going 16-0, that's a lot. I mean, you had this conversation about the Kansas City Chiefs. I told them, man, they not going 16-0. Then they get popped by the Raiders.
That they did. Let's run through it real quick. Week 13, as you mentioned, that 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 Washington football team, obviously a win.
It should be a win, but you just never know.
That'd be an interesting game.
Kyle Allen may come out and just torch them.
And then it'll be at Buffalo. That's the one you kind of had a little trepidation about a minute ago.
Yeah, you go, okay, Buffalo, what's the environment, the flight, snow, rain, nobody in the stands. It feels like a practice. You slip up and you lose that game.
Burrow again after that.
Look, I would love to see a team go undefeated. It just seems improbable in a year that we have COVID. We have a lot of health issues that come up. It seems so tough. I would love to see it happen, especially to a team that I said at the beginning of the year I thought they were one of the best teams in the NFL.
And Jay, you were a little more bullish on the Colts. That would be their penultimate game, week 16, presuming they're coming in at 14-0.
Because their defense is ridiculous, and it just depends upon what Phillip Rivers you get that day.
But see, you never know. By the time they get to week 16, the division is wrapped up, the seeding is wrapped up. Now they just like, whatever.
But what about in week 17 if the Browns, their week 17 opponent, is fighting for their playoff lives?
Doesn't matter. If I'm already packed in week 17, go ahead, fight for your playoff life. Ben's not playing, so-and-so's not playing. We're resting our guys. That would be my philosophy.
So you would say at 15-0, Tony Dungy and the Colts had to deal with this before. At 15-0 with the chance for perfection, if Pittsburgh has sealed the deal and Cleveland's fighting for its life, you'd rather say, let's just lose this game, go 15-1, we got the top seed anyway.
What did any of those perfections get anybody other than Miami Dolphins?
Correct. The Colts did not win the Super Bowl. That particular, yes.
The Colts didn't win the Super Bowl, and neither did the neither did the New England Patriots.
Jay's melting down over here.
If you're 15-0, you're telling me you don't just continue to strive for perfection, for excellence?
And the Denver Broncos were 14-2 that year. They lost to the Giants when they rolled in the Giants Stadium at
13-0.
13-0.
I remember that.
It just doesn't. Your mind, Jay. I understand from a fan's standpoint, you want to, you want to get to the 16-0, but from a coach's front office organizational standpoint, the New England Patriots went 16-0 because they wanted to prove to people that they were not cheating. And they were going to change that narrative by look at us. We going to roll regardless of what y'all say. When other teams get there, it's just not an interest to coaches. They rather get out of there healthy.
Well, in a year like this, I can see where that would make sense just because the Steelers.
No, in any year, not just this
I know,
year.
but especially this year because the Steelers didn't get their bye week, right? Due to the COVID issue with the Titans. Is that right?
Yeah,
so they didn't get their bye week, so they're
yeah.
playing X amount of weeks straight. But in a normal, I don't know. That's a different conversation. If it was a normal year, I don't know.
We got a break, Jay.
I know. That's why I stopped.
Is it a hard out break?
No, it's just a break.
not a
It's
hard
not a hard
It's just
break.
a
It's just a
regular
break.
break.
Yes, it's
Still
right.
to come in 1 minute. Fields or Lawrence. One has a national title. One's looking for his first. They met last year in the playoffs.